Yeah, Big Baby JTV. Like, comment, sub. We're gonna talk about it, man. Apparently, I'm the Andrew Tate update channel. I'm not even gonna cap. It helps with the views, but let's talk about it, man. Andrew Tate, another 30 days in jail. Romanian jail, solitary confinement, and he's been tweeting out about how the conditions are horrible, right? And he was supposed to be let out, essentially, and basically what's the biggest update to this case is that the Romanian government is seizing a lot of his stuff, a lot of his equipment, cars. They seized his house, they seized multiple things, because what they're lining up to do is use these as a reward to the women who have came out against him. Now, keep in mind, I talked about the Vice documentary. I've talked about multiple women who went out against him, right? And I even talked about him self-snitching on himself, right? Self-snitching, going on podcasts and freely admitting to his crimes, right? See, this is the thing, right? If you want to be famous, right, and you want to get clout, right, goes back to what I always talked about. Getting clout and getting infamy is not always a good thing. Now, the benefit is that you'll have tons of people who will join your network, like Hustlers University, pay about $50 a month, and these individuals, usually young boys, are gonna help fund your pockets, make you a lot of money. But guess who else is gonna be watching? It's the feds. Guess who else is gonna be watching? The police. See, ultimately, right, what you have to understand that if you are doing crime, okay, and at least from what it looks like, he was allegedly doing crime. He was pimping these women, right? He was pimping them and taking some of their extra amounts of their money. Now, look, am I saying that he is absolutely the worst? No, because there's a dude called Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who's actually alive, that they have not gone as hard in the paint for as Andrew Tate. Now, I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but I'm saying that in this society, there are way worse human traffickers. There are way worse pimps. And yes, he was pimping for sure. But ultimately, at least from what I'm seeing, at least from what I've researched, he did not explicitly lie to these women about the things he was doing. Now, about the grape type situation and those things, I can't get into. I think the court should handle that. If he is guilty of even one of them, he needs to spend time in jail. But I think this is all an attack. This is all an attack. Now, is he the best example of masculinity out there? Absolutely not. There are way better examples. Abba and Preach, for example. You know what I mean? There are a ton of great, honorable men out there that we should look up to. And in general, we shouldn't be looking up to people who are online personalities on the internet. That's weak. That's not real, right? But because we have such a society that's devoid of masculinity that actively fights against it, you have individuals like Andrew Tate who rise up and see that there's a market for it. And when you see that market, you go and attack if you have any kind of business sense, right? And what I don't like about Andrew Tate is that he would also prey on men too, specifically. So he would pretend to be a cam model and text multiple men to finesse them out of money. That ain't cool. So he would not only finesse the women or basically play some mind games with them, but he'd play mind games with the men. That's something I don't respect. The only thing I do respect about him is his self-improvement message about men getting off their ass and getting the hustle. I respect that. But we can get that also from a guy like Tony Robbins, right? So I say all this to say this. I hope that Andrew Tate does beat these charges. I think he's more of a force for good than bad. I hope the men start to realize, hey, there's better examples out here in these streets, and don't fall for the viral moment. And if you're a man who's similar to Andrew Tate, stop chasing clout. Stop being an Austin Hollerman trying to chase clout, right? Because you can literally get kicked out of a whole country or sent to a Romanian jail where you're still stuck in confinement. And I'm out, bro.